Hi, everybody. Welcome to Queers and Soaps. I'm Tommy, and today I'm joined by Derek.
Hello.
We're back for some more Sarah Michelle Gellar's first run on All My Children in 1993. Today we are finishing up September and all of October 1993. So I'll roll the credits and we'll get right into it. So the central theme for all these clips seem to be centered around Kendall finding her biological father. I was surprised to see Haley as involved as she was, but it was good to see her. I've never actually seen a lot of Haley, so
Yeah.
She looks a lot different than little snippets I've seen in your Planet from Another Planet watch.
I know she matured.
In like what, 2 years?
Yeah.
So she's hired Haley, but apparently Haley and her boyfriend / partner have broken up. Charlie, which I knew was coming because Mark and Swallows comes eventually. But so she meets at the, what is it called? The mansion,
Wildland.
With Kendall and Dimitri.
Mm-hmm.
And they're discussing the details and what she knows about him. And while this is happening, Erica comes home.
Mm-hmm.
With a haircut, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure how I felt about that. I like her hair longer.
Yeah, me too.
And she can't believe what she just walked in on. She can't believe that Kendall would want to look for this man. It's dredging up old memories. Kendall tries to apologize. She says that Dimitri didn't know anything about it, even though he's funding this.
Mm-hmm.
Haley leaves the room while this is all going down, and she tries to play it off like her and Haley are just new friends, and they're hanging out.
Mm-hmm.
Erica finds a collage that
Mm-hmm.
Kendall made, and she sets it on fire.
That was crazy.
Was that the scenes that you texted me about?
Mm-hmm.
I thought, because later on, not too much later on, but Erica starts to have nightmares again.
Mm-hmm.
I thought maybe that's what you were texting me about.
She was so good when she was telling her about what happened that night, and just
Yeah.
her scenes were so powerful.
She did a good job portraying she could almost viscerally feel and remember every moment that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So Kendall meets with Haley at it looked like a coffee shop diner, maybe it was a bar.
That was a bar because Kendall ordered a drink.
Yeah, she said order a glass of wine.
Mm-hmm.
So this was the second moment that I realized that they were doing the whole Kendall's older thing. I think when Erica was reliving everything that happened, she said something like, I don't want to relive or rehash something that happened 23 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then at the bar, Haley saw her ex. Who was that? Sydney Penny with him?
Yes, it was.
I thought so.
She just debuted that September. I don't remember what day, but I remember she came on in the fall of '93.
Is she related to Maria?
She's Maria's little sister. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I remember her first episode is in a towel. She's in a towel. I don't remember what happened, but I do remember that.
The scenes were so quick, and because it wasn't centered around Haley, I guess they were cut differently.
Well,
I was like, is that Sydney Penny? Because it was like a quick glance.
Well, Julia and Kendall will have scenes together, and they become rivals, so it will be fun.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Over Antoine?
Yes. You were right.
So I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Antoine, because honestly, when he came on Buffy, I was with his long hair, I was like, I don't know. I couldn't picture them being on a soap together. His hair is a little bit shorter, and I actually really like their chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, all right, you got me.
Yeah.
So he seems to be always lurking around,
Mhm.
especially around Kendall. And she always acts like she's angry around him, and then they like have nice moments. Um, he accuses her of being in love with Dimitri, which she is. Well,
Mhm.
she's not in love; she's infatuated with him.
Mhm.
Um, and she doubles down that she's not, and she tries to play all tough, worldly girl. And he goes in and like eats her face, like makes out with her. Sorry, there's like a motorcycle going by. Um, totally like mauls her face. And she's just like, she seems like she was like, oh, okay.
Mhm.
um, but apparently off screen, or yeah, off screen, um, he's told Dimitri that Kendall's in love with him.
Mhm.
So he confronts her, and she gets all defensive, and she's like, I don't know why he would make up those lies. Um, I don't know if it was in that scene or if it was a later scene, but Dimitri was like basically saying that he's helping her because he loves her. And then she was like, "Oh my god!" It was almost like she was like, "Oh my god, you love me? I love you too."
Yes.
I was like, for a split second, I was like, "Wait, is this a fantasy?" Because she like grabbed him,
Yeah.
but then it was kind of like, "Oh, I don't love you like that. I love you like a daughter," kind of thing.
Yes. Mhm.
So she was like, "Oh yeah, no, totally. I meant like a stepdad."
Mhm.
There was no Bianca, and I was so happy.
Well, they did. Well, Erica was gone for a bit, and they said she
Yeah.
was in Seattle because Bianca broke her collarbone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Haley finds Kendall's father.
Mhm.
We don't see this, but she describes meeting him as he basically came on to her and
Mhm.
tried to force himself on her.
Yes.
And when she finally got away, she looked back and he was like, he had like an eerie grin on his face.
Mhm.
She's like one of those Hollywood grins. And I was just like, ugh, it sounds really creepy.
But we did see her meet with Jerry Stiller, who was his agent.
Right. I was totally not expecting that.
Yeah, and well, Jerry Stiller's married to the actress who plays Peggy, Ann Mira.
Oh,
So
really?
yeah, they're Ben Stiller's parents. So
Oh, and she's been on King of Queens, I feel like.
yes.
Yeah.
Mhm. So Jerry Stiller played Richard Fields' agent. He also told Haley about like some instances with young girls, and one of them was with
R-
the head of the studio's daughter, and he got in a lot of trouble and ended his career.
Which to me, from everything you've told me, it sounds like it was Eric Kane, right?
Yes.
Okay. So it was basically Erica that ended.
Yeah, that's what we're led to believe, but we're not 100%. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I forgot about Jerry Stiller for a minute. That was cool. There was a little it was nice. Jerry
He
Stiller and then Sydney Penny.
he
Um
reminded me of, like, his role in Zoolander. I mean
um I maybe in the last 10 years got into King of Queens on in reruns. So
Mhm,
like that's like my main thing that I know him from.
mhm,
Um so yeah, after Haley reports back to Kendall about this incident,
mhm.
Kendall still is gung ho to meet him.
See
And I understand that she wants to know where she came from.
mhm.
I just don't get the whole wanting to hear his side and basically decide whose side she believes. It
Yeah.
feels like
So, it was weird to me too because I thought, like, she at first, I was like, "Okay, well, maybe she's gonna, like, tell him off and
mhm,
be like, "How could you do this?" Because that's what she kinda said to Dimitri,
right,
and then she kinda changes her mind and was like, "Well, I need to hear his side of the story first."
right.
So I was very confused about that.
So they go to California, and when this is happening, before all this happens, actually, Antoine and her have a discussion, and she talks about how she hasn't had much experience with men.
Mhm,
Um, she said that she found out when she was like 14 that she was adopted,
mhm,
and then Did I hear this right? Did she say that a ninth grader was raped and that kind of also deterred her? Because I wasn't sure if she was talking about an actual classmate or if she was talking about Erica.
I thought you were talking about Erica.
Okay, but she just found that out.
Mm-hmm.
So why would that have? I don't know. I feel like they're playing fast and loose with her age and the timeline and everything.
Uh-huh.
Um, so she says basically she's gone out with guys, but it only goes as far as a certain point. And he's like, "Well, what point?" He's like kissing, and she's like, Sometimes." So then he kind of asks if he can kiss her, which was nice. I like consent,
Mm-hmm.
and she says yes. And she seems really into it until Dimitri walks in and he's like, "Hey guys," and she's like, "Ugh," like
She's like, no, I want him,
she's
not
like,
you.
"No, I don't want to make Dimitri jealous." So then she's like, "I have so much to do. I have to pack. I need." She's like, What's the weather like? Does it rain?" And so she basically like gets rid of Antoine. So they're going to California, which is where Bianca is, and the whole time I'm like, are they gonna visit Bianca? Are they gonna try and bring her back to Pennsylvania with them? I know it's probably a different part of LA, but whatever. Um, so they go, and she meets her father, and he thinks she looks familiar. So I'm assuming she reminds him of Erica.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she basically tries to jog his memory by asking him what he remembers.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I forgot how she brought this up. I think does she bring up Eric Kane
Mm-hmm.
first? So then he's like, yes, and then she brings up his daughter
Mm-hmm.
Erica, and she's like, well, what do you remember about the last time you saw her? And she basically gets it out of him that he remembers it was her birthday. She kept looking out the window hoping for like her father to come home, and he didn't, and she was very sad, and that he cheered her up in the way he knew how. And she's like, well, how? She's like, what happened? What did you do to cheer her up? And he basically is like, a gentleman doesn't talk about such things. And she's like, well, I need to know. um and I don't remember where the break happened, because she does go back out and tells Haley and Dimitri that things are kind of going well and she can handle it and they could leave.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, oh, we're not gonna leave you alone with him.
Yeah.
And Dimitri's like happy that she didn't tell him that she was his daughter.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, it's great. You saw him, you met him, now we can go, right?
Mm-hmm.
And just like forget about this. And she's like,
Right.
no, I need to tell him because I need to see how he reacts. And she's like, I
Mm-hmm.
just need to know certain things. Um, so they get to talking more about that night. She basically baits him by saying you made love to her.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of like, well, how do you know that? Or why would you know that? And she blurts out, because you're my father, or I was conceived that night. She's my mother and you're my father. So then
Mm-hmm.
he's all like, my only child, my daughter, we lost so many years.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I can't believe this. If I had known, like, I could have raised you. And he like embraces her,
Mm-hmm.
and she almost seems comforted and like she likes it. And I'm like, but why? You know what he did.
So here's what I think. I think she doesn't want to believe she was conceived in rape. So she's trying to get the other side of the story so she can, justify being like his daughter.
Right. But that's gonna drive a wedge between her and Erica.
Yeah, but the thing is, she's stupid because she's gonna lose Erica in the process.
Yeah. It's like she can't have them both.
No,
She has to choose one.
no. But she already feels like Erica rejected her. So,
Right.
and then she favors Bianca anyway. So she's looking for
Something
comfort.
maybe something that's just hers that she doesn't have to share.
Right. And I couldn't figure out what her thought process was, but now I'm starting to realize what she was thinking. At the same time, it doesn't make a lot of sense, but it does. in her own weird way.
I can I can see how somebody who didn't know who their parents were
Mhm,
would want to see for themselves
mhm,
and might be a little naive about it and have
mhm,
this fantasy of what it could be or what it is,
mhm,
um, which is probably where she's at.
mhm.
I was super nervous, especially after what Haley described, that he was gonna try to sexually, like, assault her.
Yeah,
Um, to be continued on that because it still could happen, especially if they get close.
right.
Because he does have a thing for young girls, apparently.
Mhm,
But while they're hugging and embracing, this is where it ended. Dimitri walked in and he's like, "Get your hands off her!" So it looks like he's gonna like either punch him or just throw him across the
mhm.
room or something.
Yeah.
uh, I enjoyed these; they were entertaining.
Mhm.
I'm glad we watched as much as we did because we usually don't watch a month and a half's worth.
It did go really fast, though. It
It did.
wasn't.
It did.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, did I miss anything that you wanted to mention?
There was one thing I wanted to mention. Erica and Brooke came in at one point and were arguing, and Evan was dressed as Gigolo.
Yeah,
He was pretending to be Phoebe's Gigolo
yeah.
because he went undercover for that Willow Lakes retirement thing, and that, I remember now. That was how he got.
Oh,
That was his cover. Yeah, he was trying to break the guy who was scamming Myrtle, Phoebe, and Mona.
okay.
And anyone else who bought a condo at Willow Lakes.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought I did take note. I was like, "What is Brooke doing at Erica's house? That's weird."
I think they were like working together
Okay.
and in this moment. So I wish we could have seen it. It would have been funny.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Should we just finish the year next time or should we just like watch November, like all of November?
I think we should finish the year because by the end of the year, you're going to be like, oh my God, what the
Where are the full episode?
fuck? I'll say it. I know what happens in December, and I'm just like, okay, just get ready.
Okay. I'm excited because like I need to see what Kendall
Mhm.
does.
Mhm.
Um, am I gonna see the scene that you think might be the root of the alleged
Yes.
um
I already saw a
rivalry
picture of it.
between SMG and Susan Lucci?
Yes, because I saw the screenshot of that scene, and I know it exactly when it airs.
Okay.
Yeah.
I I Erica's gonna find out that Dimitri was helping her, so I don't know how he's gonna get on her good side again.
Yeah, there's a lot of drama in the next 2 months, and this is basically the catalyst for Erica and Kendall's rivalry throughout her run on the show. So a lot happens.
Her father seems very frail. He's in like a home, right? For a senior
Yeah,
living
he's
home.
in a retirement home.
Yeah, he seems very frail and like
Mhm.
not demented, but like he needs a little help remembering things.
Mhm.
Um, so like I can't see him physically being a threat at this point.
Well, I didn't even know he could walk. At one point, he got up and started walking. I was like, "Oh,
Yeah, I thought he was like wheelchair bound at first.
yeah." So did I.
But then I was like, but then how did he like basically throw himself on top of Haley?
Yeah, he's not
Well,
helping.
Haley said Haley said something like he said to her like it's been a long time since he tasted a Shirley Temple, and that like really creeped me out.
Isn't that gross? Oh my
Yeah,
god, that was so gross.
because if you think about it, what he's referring to is like Shirley Temple was like a child actress.
Yes.
Ugh,
Mhm. Yes.
ugh. Why isn't he in jail?
He hasn't been caught.
Ugh,
Filed charges. Erica didn't file charges, I don't think.
this is gonna be rough.
Mhm.
But all right, well, you have anything else to add before we go?
Um, there was one more thing. Let's see. Oh, also Anton and Kendall are gonna get closer too, so that'll be fun to watch too.
Well, now I'm intrigued with that, so I'm excited.
Yeah.
And now I'm also intrigued by this possible triangle with Sydney Penny.
Yes. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention is that this is how Kelly Ripa, Eva LaRue, Sarah Michelle Gellar, and Sydney Penny all became friends. Is during this
Oh,
time.
okay.
They all worked pretty closely together. So
Cool.
yeah,
Hopefully, we'll see more of them in
yeah.
future clips.
They're all still friends, from what I see on Instagram. All four of them are still friends.
I remember it's probably over 20 years ago at this point. I used to get like Soap Opera Update, that
Hmm.
magazine. Anyway, I think it was Ava LaRue's like baby shower,
Hmm.
and Sarah Michelle Gellar was there. And
Yeah.
at that point, Buffy was like in season 5 or something. And
Hmm.
I was like, oh, she still hangs out with her soap opera people.
Yeah. I think they're also friends today because
Yeah.
Sarah goes on live a lot and talks to Kelly and Mark, and
Oh,
they talk about all my children. But
oh wow.
Haley, I don't think gets involved with Marcus Willis till like for another couple years. She has another love interest before him, and he's played by Grant Alexander from Guiding Light. So
Oh,
yeah,
really?
but we may or may not see him. I don't know. He's not really in Kendall's story.
Huh. I didn't know he was on that show.
Yeah, he played Alec McIntyre
Hmm.
from '93 to '95. He wasn't on long. He went back to GL as Philip after that, I believe. I don't know where you and Angel at in '95, right?
Yes, 95. He's
Beyond,
not, yeah, he's not on the show.
he's probably sold All My Children. Okay.
Yeah. We're in May of 95 and he's not on the show. So
Okay. I don't know when he exactly leaves, but yeah, he'll be back at some point.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us for another edition of Sarah Michelle Gellar on All My Children. If you want more All My Children content, you can head over to our Patreon where Derek is doing a watch of a storyline from 91.
Yes.
Tale of Two Sisters in a Well,
Yes.
Janet and Natalie.
Mhm.
So those are coming out twice a week, full episode watches. So you can watch along with them and comment, let them know how you're feeling about the storyline. Did you love it? Did you hate it?
It's starting to get really, really good. So come on over.
So that's Queers and Soap. I'm sorry, patreon.com/Queers and Soaps if you want to subscribe and watch that. And as always, you can find us on all the other socials at Queers and Soaps. And until next time, have a great night.
Good night.
Bye.